for a nice little caffeine boost, and we're gonna fly. These pages won't know what hit them because we're coming for them. I have no idea. I have no idea. We have met Waterboy. We have met Fireboy. Fireboy gets angry. Hello besties, welcome back to my channel. My name is Tori if you're new, and we are reading my fairyloot books. I'm a little bit behind on them, and we're going to decide, is fairyloot worth it? I have the adult romantasy book box. I just find that it takes me like a while to get to them. I don't know why. So this video is really just to put pressure on myself to get to these books, read these books, hopefully have a wonderful time. A lot of these are on Kindle Unlimited as well, and one thing about me is I love Kindle Unlimited romantasy. That is where my lore began, essentially. So let's talk through the options and decide which one we're going to start with. The three I'm focusing on this week, we have Fire in the Sky by Sophie Jordan. I will go more into the summaries of these books as I pick them up and as I read them. Lately, I found that reading book summaries has not gone well for me. I typically have a better reading experience when I go into a book blind, so that's the plan for this week. Then we have The Starlight Heir by Emily Howard. And the final book, everyone is freaking out about this recently, so I'm so excited to get to it, and that is The Wind Weaver by Julie Johnson. And this edition is really just so stunning. One thing about fairyloot is that even if I don't love the book, I always want to like keep it on my shelves because they're so freaking beautiful. Now is the tough decision, which one do we start with first? This is our book club pick. I host a public book club on the app called Fable. It's always linked down below. It's a fantasy romance book club called the Who Did This To You book club. And our pick for May is A Fire in the Sky. So this is a strong option. I don't think I want to start with The Wind Weaver because I have really, really high hopes from girly pops like besties that I trust their taste in romantasy like over. They're better at picking books for me than I am for myself. Like, I trust them so much. So I think we're gonna save Wind Weaver for last. Maybe we start with The Starlight Heir and just see how this goes. This one is pretty short. It's only 347 pages, so I think we can get through it pretty quickly. We've talked ourselves into it. The Starlight Heir is what we're going to start with. Okay, I love a good fantasy book map. The only thing about this one is that it's called the Map of Andara, and all I can think of is the Map of Andarna from Fourth Wing. It's gonna be the Map of Andarna for me in my brain. That's just how it's gonna go. Little 20% in update, and let's do the synopsis for this book. Our main character's name is Soraya Saab, and she is a blacksmith. She also has the, I don't know if it's like the ability, I guess more of the talent to imbue this magical substance called, and I don't know that I'm saying this correctly, Jadoo into weapons, which is the last like material source of magic in this world. Magic is forbidden. Soraya gets an invitation, which she thinks is a joke, to come to the palace. She's one of the chosen one, potential chosen one, to compete to become the bride of the crowned prince. She literally thinks this is a joke. She's like, there's girls that are way better looking than me. I really just want to be a blacksmith and hang with my family. Why is this happening? But she ends up going because they don't want to offend the royal family. They have to compete in these trials. They don't know that these trials are actually a veiled hunt for the star heir, for the star keeper. A girl rumored to hold the magic of the stars in her blood. And then there's also unrest that's happening between different cities, different like noble houses, and this rebel militia that's happening in the background as well. We're 56 pages in. We're on chapter 6. I love the aesthetic of this book. I'm interested in the magic because I think like star magic is really cool. We've also had some hints about Soraya's mom, who died due to this like draining illness, and Soraya doesn't understand how her mom died because there's never been an illness like this. And then we find out, it's hint dropped in like the second chapter, that her mother died like protecting her somehow. So she's obviously the star keeper. She doesn't know about her power. Her mother died to protect her, clearly. And I hope that we get to see some really cool magic. That's all I'm gonna say for right now, because there's a couple things that I'm feeling a little bit like so-so about, but I want to see if they begin to iron themselves out the further we get in. One thing, it reads very quickly, which is great, especially during a readathon, because we are currently in the midst of Escape the Readathon. I will leave the information for that link down below, and I'm a co-host for Team Detectives. Go team. This book looks so beautiful on camera, like I actually can't deal with it. Fairyloot has the prettiest books. Like, they just make them so pretty, and the artists that they work with are iconic, like actually iconic. The sprayed edges on this, I truly like cannot deal with it. It's so beautiful. Literally just started reading again, but I just came across a new vocab word that I'd never ever heard before in my whole life. Gladiatrix. It's like a female gladiator, but why it be sounding like that? Okay, this will probably be my last update of the night. We're almost 100 pages in to the Starlight Heir. One thing about me, I love a desert fantasy. I love the setting so much, and I'm really hoping that we get more of that. It's been mentioned a couple times, but we've been so present in the palace that they're at for these trials that we haven't gotten a lot of the desert. But I tend to really enjoy the creatures. There has been one mythical creature in here so far that was very scary in one of the trials, so I'm looking forward to that. I think the dialogue is much more contemporary than I was expecting. It's also extremely lewd. Like, I was gonna say angsty, but it's really not angst. It's very direct and straightforward with, I would say, like jokes, but they don't really hit. They're just very like sexually oriented, and it's right from the very beginning. Like, our main character Sura has a friend. I keep wanting to call her Layla, but I think it's Lale is her name, and she was just so thirsty. Like, from chapter 2, I think maybe chapter 1, we have dialogue with her because their conversation is kind of setting up some of the world building. She's immediately telling her friend to throw herself at the prince, and all of these intimate nitty-gritty details about the prince. Y'all know me, I am not a prude. Like, I love fantasy romance, but I feel like there was no build up, and now that Sura is interacting with the princes, even that feels very heavy-handed on the like lust side of things, and I want more build up. Like, I want more yearning than that. Prince Javid is the crowned prince. He's like putting on all of these trials that are actually a veiled hunt for the star keeper, and he is vicious and cruel. Like, they are truly villainizing him. He is the antagonist. He is like Disney villain evil without a redeeming quality. And then we have Prince Roshan. He's the bastard prince. So the queen doesn't like him very much. His crowned prince brother doesn't like him very much, but he's the good one. Like right from the very beginning, he sort of makes like an alliance. He connects with Sura like right away, and their banter is really fun, but it is very direct in certain ways that I'm like, okay, why? Like, I get that the book is short, but we couldn't have had like any build up in any sense of the word. These people are just, they want their clothes off and they want to go at it. Sura's like Starkeeper abilities have like started to come forward, but she doesn't really know about it, and she also has no idea that this is like a veiled hunt for something. She just thinks it's crazy trials to be a bride where people have been dying, and she has no idea what's going on. Roshan knows what's going on, and he's trying to like get her out of there. And so in the summary it says they escape and then they go kind of on the run together. That's what I'm looking forward to. I'm hoping that we get more of like the desert setting. I hope that we see more of the culture. Those are the things I really thoroughly enjoy about desert fantasies. Good morning. We did read a little bit more of the Starlight Heir last night. Not as much as I would have hoped, but we were sleepy girlies. We made it to chapter 12, which is page 133. However, we're locking in right now. I have an Alani. It is Orange Kiss, which isn't my favorite flavor, but I got like a variety pack with cherry slush, cherry twist, and pink slush. Those two are my favorites, but I have like a bunch of the orange because I haven't been drinking them. So we're gonna drink this one this morning for a nice little caffeine boost, and we're gonna fly. These pages won't know what hit them because we're coming for them. We're coming for them right now. I'm also gonna put on an ambiance, like an ambient room on my iPad. I think, let me not speak too soon. I don't know what I'm gonna pick, but I am feeling maybe like a Zelda rainy day, because yesterday when I was on Steph's sprints, she did a Zelda rainy day. Regina wore army pants and flip-flops, and now I bought army pants and flip-flops. That's how it feels. Or I might do medieval lo-fi because I'm obsessed with everything medieval at the moment. Was I scrolling on this website that recreates Lord of the Rings swords the other night? Don't worry about it. Yeah, maybe we'll go with that. Ooh, or a rainy autumnal day in a conservatory. It's kind of rainy and gloomy out today, which is not normal for Arizona. I'm trying to make the most of it because I love reading on like rainy, gloomy, dark days. It just feels like that's the God-given right thing to do on a day as such, so. They have a very cute training / sparring together scene. One of my favorite tropes. We are officially past the halfway mark, and I'm definitely liking it a bit more than I was in the beginning. I think with this book you have to let Emily cook a little bit. There's a couple themes that I'm enjoying. It certainly has a theme of darkness versus light. I mean, with Starlight Heir, I think you get a hint of what the magic is going to be. The magic is very connected with old gods, and there's some history that's fun to explore in this world. There's like the god of light and the god of dark, and they balance each other. There's a very clear good and evil, so it's not so much morally gray. The creatures, the magical creatures in this are really cool. We had one trial. I wouldn't say that this book, I mean, technically it has a deadly competition, deadly trials, but that gets cut off pretty quickly. Oh my god, a bird just landed on my balcony, like it's like a dove, mourning dove. It's on our pizza oven. But we did get a really cool, like I said, creature in the Deadly Trials, and then this creature that's depicted here is a big component. I actually don't want to say too much about this creature, but I will tell you what its name is because it's really cool. So it's kind of a creature similar to a phoenix where it has like starfire, and we've been given this prophecy about beginnings and endings, and the Star Keeper is going to be both the beginning of something and the end of something else, and so it's very connected with life and death. That's the symbolism behind here. There's a lot of Persian inspired lore and creatures in this book, which I really thoroughly enjoy. I had to look it up because at first I didn't know what a simurgh, I don't know if I'm saying that correctly, I didn't know what that was, so obviously I looked it up on my Kindle, which said that it is a Persian inspired, it's a winged creature that has the head of a wolf and it has like taloned feet, acts in the same way, it serves the same purpose as like a phoenix and represents similar things, but that is the like Persian version of it, and it shows up a lot in Iranian lore, which is so freaking cool. You will be the simurgh rising from the stardust of this world. You are its destruction and its reawakening, its doom and its undying hope. You are the epicenter of its beating heart. We're doing a lot of magic training, we're doing a lot of combat training, we're finding out a little bit more about the rebels. There is quite a bit of political intrigue in here as well. We spoke about in the beginning how it's like lust from first sight, and our characters were being very forward about their feelings. Nothing has happened yet. It has been a little bit more like angsty and yearning than what I had first anticipated from the way that some characters were speaking about things. I think I just really didn't like our main character Soraya's best friend, Lale. I always want to say Layla, because she was just like, it was almost just like too much, but Soraya isn't like that. She's a bit more coy, which I enjoy. I think it makes the dynamic a lot more fun. We're at the 50% mark, like I said, 56%. We're at chapter 17, and now like we're in a scene where things could potentially happen, and that's really fun because we have been getting to know Roshan quite a bit. We really enjoy him. He's a little sweetie pie. The things that are wowing me the most so far, the lore and the creatures and the magic. I love Starfire magic. It's giving Starfire from Teen Titans. Honestly, yeah, it really is giving Starfire from Teen Titans, although she was like from an alien race, and it would be really freaking cool if this was from an alien race and not like ancient gods. I feel like that would make it much more sci-fi. 2 hours and 45 minutes left in this book, according to my Kindle. So my goal is to finish this today. We have finished our first book. I just finished it. I'm a bit undecided about my rating. I feel very middle of the road about this book. If I didn't feel compelled to complete this like fairyloot challenge, I probably would have DNF'd this. It's not that it's a bad story. I also think that at a different time, at a different reading mood, I probably would have vibed with this a lot more. This story has a lot of intensity to it. It moves very quickly. There's a lot of action. It's very tropey. It definitely has a lot of cliches in the specific phrasing that's used and in some of the like situational things that happened. I found it a bit cliche. It just didn't have that like wow factor for me. Even though it was action-packed, it just kind of dragged. So if I'm honest, like I would probably rate this a 2-star. A 2-star for me is, it probably should have been a DNF. I will admit I didn't read the last chapter or the epilogue because even by chapter 28, I think it has 30 chapters total. By chapter 28 and 29, we were fully just like wrapping everything up. But I just feel very so-so about the romance, about the plot. It was very simplified. And there were a lot of plot conveniences. Probably a 2.5. Final rating. It felt like a mix of stories that I had read before, if that makes sense. It's always hard, but I am someone who, my shelves are my trophies. I like it to be books that I really thoroughly vibed with, and books that are less than a 3-star, sometimes even books that are a 3-star, I end up unhauling. So unfortunately, the Starlight Heir, we have to let you fly free. Okay, so because of Escape the Readathon, A Fire in the Sky fits a current prompt a little bit better. So I'm actually gonna start with this one. Cassidy's reading it at the same time as me, so that can be fun. And then even if it's like not like a super favorite, I don't know, buddy reading always just helps motivate. That's very pessimistic of me. I'm hoping that this is a banger. We'll see. We're on page 95 of A Fire in the Sky. Also, turning this dust jacket around, I actually really enjoy this cover more than like the special edition cover thing. I don't know if this is the original cover or not, but I do really enjoy this colorway a little more. Strong start. I would definitely say a little bit stronger of a start for me than the Starlight Heir. So in this book, our main character's name is Tamsin. She is considered the royal whipping girl. I did not know about this role that was played, but essentially a whipping boy or girl is brought in to live with the royal family, typically from a more like impoverished family, and they get punished for what the actual like royal heirs, prince or princesses, do like in their stead, but the royal children have to watch them get punished, like get whipped or whatever the punishment is, basically to like make them feel the consequences of their actions, but without actually harming the royal children themselves. New concept for me. I learned something new. That is Tamsin. This has an arranged slash forced marriage. She's forced to marry this barbaric, important soldier person because the kingdom, I don't want to say is under siege, but it has a lot of threats, and so this barbaric soldier and his people do a lot to protect the kingdom. And so when they show up on the king's doorstep saying, "Hello, we're here, we do so much for you, I would like to wed one of your daughters," he doesn't really have a choice. But instead of giving him one of his like actual royal daughters, he ends up giving Tamsin, who was raised essentially as a royal. Like, she thinks of the princesses as her sisters, however she's not actually a royal, so they're kind of like tricking him. The other important facts about this world is that dragons have seemingly been wiped out because the society went on a killing spree for dragons. They were seen as like a big massive threat, and so everybody took them out. And now that dragons are no longer a threat, they really go after witches. Like basically magic is forbidden in this society. I also didn't realize this before I started, but this is our MMC. He's such a hottie. I'm having a wonderful time. Besties, we have just a little update for A Fire in the Sky. I love holding up this side of the cover so much more. She's so pretty. Do you think she knows she's pretty? Because I feel like she probably knows that she's pretty. We read up to chapter 15 last night, which is page 149. We're 45% of the way through this book. I think there is a lot of setup. Like nothing has really happened in the plot so far outside of what's been on the dust jacket. We have this arranged marriage, kind of forced marriage. It's now a little bit more of an enemies to lovers setup because of what happened on like their wedding night. And then we've like started to venture outside of the castle. Tamsin has officially started her new life with her new husband, and they're off to kind of a rocky start. However, they have mutual attraction. It is multi-POV. We get 3 POVs, but now I'm thinking it's gonna switch to 2 POVs. His name is Fel. I think we can very easily finish her, so that is the plan. I cannot stop thinking about getting to Windweaver, so that's also the motivation. Even though this book is so chunky, like 520 pages, I feel like these books have been flying by. And after Cassidy like raved about this and gave this 5 stars and said it's one of her top books of the year, I need to know. We have just finished A Fire in the Sky. I have no idea. I have no idea when I want to read this book. I really enjoyed the first like 50%. The second half just gets so wackadoodle. The main plot twist that involves some of the creatures and stuff that's on like the cover of the book, it feels like it came out of absolutely nowhere, and the writing just made it so that it was really difficult to like take it seriously. Do I think this was really like fun? Yes. I think I would have enjoyed it more honestly if it had been a little bit spicier, because the MMC is hot, and the moments that they share, the like little snippets that we got of them together, I did like that element. I don't think it's overall like a strong romance, and the plot gets so crazy that I'm just like, what is even happening? What are we doing here? What do you mean? I don't know. Not to say that it wasn't spicy. You do definitely have moments, especially like one big scene at the end, but this was so weird. Like honestly, like this was just so weird. I don't get it. I would probably give this a 2 star, which is so sad because we have 2 2-star books. This is so crazy. I need to start skipping more of your books. This is insane. So I will be listing these on my Pango. I'm gonna do an unhaul video probably pretty soon because we keep just racking up unhaul books. So if you do like special editions and you think that these might be more your speed, they will probably be up soon-ish. So we have saved, hopefully, fingers crossed, the best for last. The Windweaver is our final hope for having an amazing read in this vlog. I am going in with high expectations because of the reviews that I've heard. I'm just worried because this is so chunky. I haven't read a long book like this. I don't think I read a long book like this last month either. Maybe I'll see if I can get the audio for it, just in case. So I think we're just gonna go in blind, and I will give a summary of this book when I get like 100 pages, like 20%, whatever comes first. We are 94 pages into Windweaver. We just made it to chapter 9. I am obsessed with this. I'm like scared at first. This morning I was at page, I want to say like 50, and I wanted to wait a little bit longer to do an update because I feel like I said similar things about A Fire in the Sky, and then like the second half of that book, we know what happened. But this is so freaking good. We get right into a ton of action. It's super high stakes. It doesn't let up for the whole almost 100 pages that we've been reading. It's a captor-captive setup. And this MMC is so hot. Also, the audiobook is really good. I did end up getting the audiobook on Libro FM because I had a credit, and I'm so happy that I did because this narrator, I don't know who narrates it. I'll have to look it up, but she's doing a wonderful job. It's a British narrator, so automatically like she sounds incredible, but the voice that she does for our MMC is so good. Like, it's so hot. She like lowers her voice a little bit. It's just, it's so good. Our MMC's name is Scythe. He captures Raya Fleetwood from this other army that had her as a prisoner. So he like takes over. She's a captive from page 1, and they're escaping these other men. It's just Scythe that like has her, and they're going to the north past these mountains where like no one usually goes, and we really don't know anything. All we know is that we barely even hear our FMC's name because she keeps just repeating, I'm no one, I'm no one, I'm no one. So she's clearly undercover. Raya, all we know about Raya is that she has like a mentor, or she was raised by a mentor, so we haven't heard anything of her parents, and she has this mark on her like right here on her chest that's called a remnant mark, but she doesn't know what that means. Like, other people tell her, you have a remnant mark, you can't be nobody, like we don't buy your story. All she knows is that it's a birthmark that she's had, and she doesn't know anything about it, but she's been told to hide it. She's also a halfling, so she's like half elf or fae, half human, and halflings are like persecuted in this world. That's all I know so far from not having read the summary. I was debating before my first check-in if I did want to read the summary to be able to give you a little bit more of a coherent explanation, but I really don't want to. I'm having such a great time. I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know why these people want her. I am just in it and enjoying every second of it. So far, Scythe has not taken his helmet off, which obviously I am eating up every single second. I don't know if the helmet, you can see like the rest of his face really, but you can definitely see his eyes and his eyebrows because she's spoken about his amber eyes and his brows. Absolute hottie. And they've spent like at least close to a week together, like traveling, so the fact that he still hasn't let her see like his whole face, I'm assuming, because we haven't really gotten like a good description for him yet, I am screaming. I love it so much. What an amazing day. We have an absolutely amazing book, also a gorgeous edition of this book because the fairyloot edition is so gorgeous, like we've already talked about. I just looked in the back and I have to show this to you guys, but also the new Sleep Token album came out today and I'm screaming. I'm listening to every single song. So far my favorites, I don't know how to say, let's see if I can try to pronounce the other one. I love the song Dangerous. I feel like Dangerous because I've been like listening to it so much today. I've listened to this whole album 3 times today, by the way, because I've been listening to Dangerous so much, like truly on repeat. I feel like I'm associating it with this book. I don't know, that like happens to me sometimes, but it's like such a good fit. It's such a good fit. And then
Gethsemane.
Those are like my 2 favorite songs, although this album is an absolute like no skip, love every song album, but like those 2 are my favorites so far. So we're having a wonderful time. Let me show you. Oh my gosh. I'm so excited. We're currently on some reading sprints. It's a Friday afternoon. We have quite a bit of time to read. I have like 2 more hours to read before Ross and I are going to dinner tonight to celebrate our 1-year wedding anniversary. And then also I got my nails done earlier because they were so busted. They were just so grown out and gross. So I wanted to do a little dual color moment and I really like the blues. I love this blue, but like this light blue is also really cute. So that's been the day so far. We have 45 seconds left on the sprint, so I'm gonna get back to yapping. I will continue to check in and probably scream about this book. I have really high hopes and I don't think that the second half is going to be tragic like A Fire in the Sky because like we have reputable reviews. Besties, a little bit of an update on Windweaver. I made it to page 148 yesterday on sprints. I was hoping to get a little bit farther because today's Saturday. I would like to finish this book by Sunday, so we have quite a bit of reading to do today, which I do think is manageable. The only thing I have going on today is Ross and I have a golf lesson in a little bit, in like a couple hours, that I'm super duper excited for. So the other main focus is going to be Windweaver. I'm about to go for a little walk because it's a beautiful day outside. One of the things that really helps me focus when I want to like do a lot of reading in a day is doing some is going for a walk. I don't know why, but I feel like when I tire my body out or like get some movement in my day, I'm able to come back and really like focus and lock in more than if I just like sit on the couch all day. Maybe I'm just like conditioning myself to walking 10K steps a day because walking has been like a goal for myself this year. Anyways, we're gonna go for a walk. I'm gonna try to listen to this audiobook a little bit, but y'all, the new Sleep Token album came out yesterday and I can't stop listening to it. I need to look up what my top songs are right now on Spotify because I promise you these songs came out yesterday and I can guarantee you they were like my top songs. I've listened to the whole album like 5 times through already. So anyways, we might switch between reading Windweaver and listening to Sleep Token because I can't control myself. We are showered, eyebrows freshly dyed, retainer is in, we did a face mask earlier, we are cozy, and we have been reading The Wind Weaver. This book has moved from enjoyment to obsession. I cannot stop reading this. We've read another about 100 pages. I'm on page 258. We're like almost halfway through. We have met Waterboy. We have met Fireboy. Well, we met Fireboy quite some time ago. I am obsessed. The elemental magic in this, it's so good. I'm like, we've barely seen any of it yet. Like, we really haven't seen anything at all, and already I'm like so interested to learn more. I had to look up when this book came out because I was like, where is book 2? Is book 2 out? Is it on the horizon? I need to know so I can plan. This book came out April 8th, and there's no news of a second book, obviously, because this just came out, but it is so good. The writing style is so good. I feel like Julie Johnson is a new favorite author, and I haven't even finished the first book that I've read from her. Please read this book. What I'm really surprised about is, so far, I mean, for these first 258 pages, we have been traveling. We've been like learning as we go. I'm someone who doesn't mind a story where the characters like adventure and travel throughout the story. We're learning along with our main character what's going on. She's learning about herself. She's having this whole world unravel in front of her, like learning all of these things. They call magic magic in this, so if I'm saying magic, I promise you I know how to pronounce magic. Like, the plot is just so gripping from the very beginning because we know that we're on the run from someone or something. We're in danger, but we don't really know the reasoning behind it. We know that magic is kind of forbidden. We know that fae and halflings are persecuted people, but we don't know why. And then we're meeting all these very interesting characters along the way. So like, the plot itself is interesting, but then also from literally page 1, there are super duper high stakes of like, it's a captor-captive situation, and then it's like a secondary captor-captive situation, and then them like escaping. There's really high stakes. There's scary creatures in here. There were like massive underground centipedes, like a horde of gross centipedes that we had to fight. I'm having so much fun. I love it here. Also, when Fireboy gets angry, I love angry Fireboy. He's not giving Zuko energy, like he's definitely not, but like Zuko's in the back of my head, you know what I mean? We love an angry Fireboy. I'm sorry if you can hear my air conditioner. I'm sure that you can. But we have just finished Wind Weaver, and I can't catch my breath. Like, I loved this story so freaking much. Also, okay, we have a lot to talk about. I need to kind of correct myself or give an update from what I said last check-in, because Julie Johnson is that author who said that she's already submitted her like manuscript or first draft of the 3rd book to her publishers. So hopefully that means we get a second book soon. I am obsessed. Like, I cannot wait for the next book in this series. The elemental magic was so cool. We still have so much to learn. The introduction to this world was so incredible. For fantasy romance, I think maybe the future books will be a little bit more romance heavy. This was much more like plot and setup heavy, and I don't mean that to sound scary. The world building in this was so smooth, you didn't even know it was happening, because like in the beginning when we meet her as like a captive, she's trying to figure out what's going on, and that is my favorite thing ever, when the reader gets to figure out what's going on at the same time as our main character, because I feel like it just makes it that much more smooth, and it's typically showing us what's going on instead of just like telling us and info dumping, and that's exactly how this played out. It was so well done. I love this world. I love the magic. I cannot wait to get to know Soren more. Like, I love Penn. I really do. I'm just excited because he is so good that I can't wait to get more of like Soren and see what he's all about. We know him like a little bit, but this definitely was not his book, and so I'm hoping that like it'll flip-flop for next book and we get to experience a lot more of Soren. 5 stars. I made a bullet journal spread about this book. I'm so obsessed that I can't stop smiling. The end is rough. Like, the end, so much happens. And it's really sad. We do end on a pretty big cliffhanger, I would say. Like, we get a little bit of a wrap up, but it did really set up what's gonna happen in the next book quite well, and I'm like dying to know what happens next. Also, the big bad in this is scary. The way that the big bad interacts with magic and like what they're doing to create the war and the major conflict in the book, I'm really excited to get a little bit like of a close-up with the big bad, because the scenes where he was talked about and sort of in the same scene, it was very much from a distance, and so I know that's really vague and probably doesn't make sense, but I'm excited to see him like up close and see what he can do and see what his magic is all about, magic is all about. Oh my gosh, what a way to end this vlog. I'm so happy that we saved this for last, because like we really needed to go out on a banger, and I am absolutely obsessed. Thank you so much for watching, friends. If you've made it this far, leave a little like lightning cloud in the comments down below if you'd like to let me know that you were here, and please let me know what book you're planning to pick up next. We have had so many new releases that I'm just like foaming at the mouth to get to. It's actually insane. I am so excited to just voraciously read. I'm feeling blessed with all of the, especially romantasy releases, but just like so many banger new releases. I will catch you in the comments, and I will see you in my next one very soon, friends. Toodles.